So when we start talking about importing data, most likely you're going to be importing that data from an Excel document. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about is a properly formatted Excel document, because that's really where it all starts. It's easy to clean up your data first in Excel before we move into our CRM system, because we don't want to move in cluttered or messy data, right? So the first thing we're going to talk about here is importing products and services. I like to start there because it's nice and simple with only a few values here. So I'm going to bring this spreadsheet over. Hopefully you can all see my screen. If not, you can try disconnecting to go to webinar and reconnecting. Oftentimes that'll fix the issue. But let's just walk through the spreadsheet here. So we see that each row below our header is here at the top, each row below our header is a different product. In this case, I just kept it simple with some fictitious products here, product A, B, C, D. I associated an item number to them. And then I also associated a group with them. Now a group is going to be like a product folder, and I'll best be able to show you this here in a little bit later, but I wanted to show you how we can map into different groups and even different subgroups. All right. To the right of that, we have their price column. This is the retail price of the product, what we're going to sell it at. We have a description of the product. In this case, I just used the written text of the price. And then the final column I have down here is cost, and that's what that product costs us. Okay? Simple enough, right? We just got 4 products here. We're going to walk through importing them in. Now, before we actually import them, though, I want to talk a little bit more about this group area. Notice that I put products A and B into group 1, so those will both be going into the same folder. Product C I put into product C I put into group 2, so it's going to be going into not the group 1 folder, but the group 2 folder. And then if you look here at product D, you're going to see it's going into the group folder 2 and then into the subfolder group A. All right, and now if you haven't set up your products and services already and you just start importing these, it'll automatically create these groups for you, so you don't have to create them ahead of time. All right, so let's go ahead and import these products and services. So I've got a blank Claritysoft database pulled up here. I've just got one account and contact in here. So we're going to come up here to Tools, and then we're going to come down to Import Products and Services. All right, Import Products and Services. Then we're going to choose an Excel workbook file and click Next. We're going to go ahead and browse for that file. And I've got mine right there called Product Book. Click Open. And click Next one more time. And then this is going to take us to the item mapping table. I'll make this a little bit bigger here. Hopefully you can see it. At the top, you can select which sheet the items are listed on. In this case, that spreadsheet I was working with only has stuff stored on sheet 1. So that's what we want to keep there. And then on the left-hand side here in this table, these are all fields that we can map to in Claritysoft. So we see the group, item number, name, and so on. Then on the right-hand side, these are the associated columns in our Outlook file, our Excel file, right? Group, item number, name, description, cost, price. Okay? So everything looks good there. Now, let's say that, for instance, this weight field here, maybe we had this weight field in our Excel document, but it wasn't automatically populating. Well, we can just click into this white cell here, right here, and it'll give me a drop down with all the available options. So these are all the columns in my spreadsheet. Now the reason these top 6 up here automatically mapped over is because their spelling is exactly the same in Claritysoft as it is in my Excel document. So I kind of took a shortcut here that some of you might not have known about, and that is if we keep consistent spelling with our columns in Excel to our fields in Claritysoft, it'll map those for you automatically. All right. Now, one more thing before you click next here. Look in the bottom right corner where it says Group Field Separator. And we've got a slash. Well, I want to pull up that spreadsheet one more time so you can see exactly how that works. What that's telling us, oops, sorry there. What that's telling us is that when we're separating those groups, see if I can see both of these at the same time here. When we're looking at those groups, they are separated by that slash. See, right there we have the slash, and then in our Excel book, group 2 / group A. That means group A is going to be a subcategory of group 2. Now, if we click that little drop down there, we could choose from a number of different options and how we want to separate those fields. By default, though, it's going to be that slash. All right. So let's go ahead and click next here. And it's going to tell us it found 4 items. Well, that's perfect. We had 4 items in our spreadsheet. We're going to click next again. It's going to say import complete, and then click OK, and it's going to import those values and take us right into our price book. All right. And then in the top left corner up here, if you look at our groups, we have group 1 with product A and B. Just like we set it up, the cost is $1, price is 10, cost is 10, price is 100, and so on. All that looks good. Then if we click on group 2, we see product C. And if we click the little plus sign next to group 2, we can see, oh, there's that subgroup called group A with the last product, product D. Okay, so hopefully you got a good understanding of how that subgroup works with the slash. All right, and that's it. Now we've imported our price book, and this could have been 100 products and services, right? Just like that, they're imported. Just remember that you would want to sync to send those up to the server so that when your teammates sync, they have that information as well. All right. Now, let's go through the process of importing some accounts and contacts. And it's going to be a very similar format, all right? We're going to go up to Tools, and this time we're going to choose Import Wizard. Instead of Import Products and Services, we're going to go with the Import Wizard. From here, we can choose an Outlook contact folder or an Excel workbook file. I recommend the Excel workbook file. And then we can go ahead and browse. Open that up. Now at this point, if you had opportunities, quotes, sales, or activities from a previous system that were in Excel line by line, we could import those as well. Today we're just going to show you how to import the account and contact information. But if you wanted to import sales as line items, you could do that here as well. Then at the bottom here, we have a couple other fields we can, a couple of other options we can look at. If we look at import advanced fields as well, that means we can import to the multiple billing and shipping addresses. If you look at an account and look at the blue underlined text next to the, maybe billing account, we can click on that and change to maybe shipping account, something to that effect. Depends on how you have those set up in your system. But this option will let us import to those advanced fields. Additionally, we can import notes up to, maybe up to 3, 4, however many we choose. And then the last one down here, and probably the most commonly used one here, is overwrite existing records. This means maybe we've already imported this spreadsheet once, but we made some changes in the spreadsheet and we want to re-upload it and have those changes apply. In that case, if we're updating with a spreadsheet, we would click Overwrite Existing Records. Okay? But since this is all brand new data going into a fresh, clean database, we're going to leave all these blank. We're going to go ahead and click Next. This is going to take us to the account mapping table. Look here at the top. I want you to pay attention to that. Account mapping table. This means we're mapping information on the account level. This is relative to the company. So we've got the account name. We didn't have a site. We got the phone number. We didn't have a website. Now under address 1 and address 2 here, I believe we need to associate that to our address field. In our spreadsheet, it was just called address, not address 1 and 2. All right. Then we have city, state. Our spreadsheet doesn't have country, so we don't need to worry about that. Postal code. We don't have a description. We got our status and industry fields. And then that should be everything. All right, so we've now, I'm sorry, there's one more thing I remembered in this spreadsheet. If we look here at the phone on the left-hand side, remember the left-hand side are the fields in Claritysoft. And we click on the one on the right-hand side here, we actually have a separate phone for the account. You know, this is the company's phone versus the individual's phone. So we're actually going to choose account phone there. All right. Then everything else looks okay. So we're going to go ahead and click next. And after the account mapping table, it takes us to the contact mapping table, meaning we're now mapping information that's relative to the person, the individual. Okay, so account stayed the same, first name, last name, contact type, that's one of our status and type fields here. Got our title, email, that all looks good. Phone came over, remember that's the individual's phone. I think address, we need to go ahead and add that in here. And in this spreadsheet, we're assuming that the account address is the same as the contact address. That might not always be the case, but for the purpose of this training session, we're going to go ahead and make that assumption. All right, and then we also have this custom field hobby that we added in. This is the custom field on the contact level. So we're going to map over their hobbies into our database as well. Okay. So we've mapped our accounts, we mapped our contacts, and we click next here at the bottom. It says we found 4 accounts, perfect. We click next. Found 4 contacts, awesome. Click next. It says import complete, press OK to save import results. Click OK. It's going to import the 8 there, and we get a little message here that says accounts imported 4, contacts imported 4, no errors. Perfect. That's exactly what we want to see. That's just telling us everything went A-OK on our import. All right, so we're going to click OK. There we have it, just like that. We have our 4 accounts. If we open one of these up, you're going to see that we have the status here. This account is a customer in the manufacturing industry, so that carried over. We go ahead and see that the billing information here in the top right carried over as well. There's our address information. Then down here at the bottom, you see that the contacts carried over as well. And let's actually go down to contacts. And let's open up one of these guys too. Let's look at 3M Company here. Patrick Campbell. You see his title, CFO came over, email, phone numbers, faxes. Address information, his hobby, remember we made his hobby was fishing, all that came over. His contact type, he was the billing contact for this account, so that came over as well. So everything there looks good. This was a successful import. Everything's A-OK. Now the one last thing I always like to remind people here is that don't forget to sync, so you can send that information up to the server to share with everyone else. All right. But that's as complicated as it gets, really, with importing and data mapping. So I would like to take the time now to open up for any questions we might have. If you are not familiar with the GoToWebinar interface, there's a little area called Questions. In there, you can type up a question, send it over to me, and I'll be happy to answer it the best I can. So while I wait for you guys to type up any of those questions, I'll just buy a couple minutes of time here. Feel free to type those up for me. If for some reason maybe you can't think of a question, or you think about it as soon as we're done with the training session today, you can always reach out to our support team for help. They're available via phone or email. And I'll actually give you their contact information here. Their phone number is 888-838-7487. And their email address is support@claritysoft.com. All right. So again, you can reach out to them via phone or email. Fantastic group of individuals. They'll be able to help you out if you have any questions. All right. Well, guys, it doesn't look like I'm getting any questions here. So I'll give you just another minute just in case, but if not, we'll go ahead and wrap things up for today. Last week we went a little bit long, but it seems like today it'll be nice and short. We don't have many questions. It's a pretty simple topic, so we can wrap things up without wasting a lot of time here for you guys. If you do have any other questions, again, don't hesitate to reach out. We'll be happy to help. All right, guys, I don't have any questions at this point, so I think we're going to go ahead and wrap things up for today. Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Thank you again.